Yes. So when we consider minerals, though this is a different topic. So when we come to the minerals, so here the basic thing that you want to understand on minerals is, so as I explain you, the water as well as mineral, it is inorganic compound. Okay, mineral are important as a nutrient constituent to maintain the life process of the organism. Okay, they are absorbed as trace or macro. So okay, trace or macro elements in the body, because it means trace and macro and micro. Okay, so micro means very small amounts, macro means comparatively large. So it is, that's also we can categorize like this: trace and macro elements into our body. It means the ones that we want to need to take our body in high amounts, we call it as macro. We need in lower amount, we name it as trace amounts, and we are absorbing in trace amounts those elements or the minerals to our body. The elements need in higher amount are known as macro, and the elements need in smaller amount is known as trace elements. Is it clear with you, Daru? Is it clear?
Yes, it.
So then when we come to the next point, the 7% of your body weight is minerals. Okay, when we come to the carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, they have high amount. Okay, the percentage is higher. But when we come to the inorganic compounds, just like minerals, we don't need that much of minerals. Okay, minerals no need of taking that high percentages, but initially or closely we need 70% of it. Means when I consider our body weight as 100 kilograms, 7 kilograms of minerals may be there. Then 3 to 4 of the above amount is by calcium and the phosphorus. Normally calcium is there, phosphorus is there. So the normal amount is 3 to 4. It means more than half of it is consists of, there are different type of minerals. From all those minerals, more than half play the role by calcium and the phosphorus. Other than that, there are potassium, ions, magnesium, copper, iodine are also there, and they are the elements not present in the correct amount, the plants. So if we are not taking enough amount of these minerals, if we are not taking the specific amounts or the required amount of these minerals, we have to undergo with deficiency symptoms. Let's see, write the first point. Minerals are important as a nutrient constituent. Minerals are important as a 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 nutrient constituent to maintain 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 the life process of organisms. 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 Okay. Life process of organism. Okay, Daru. Next point.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, write down. They are absorbed as. 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 They are absorbed as trace or microelements. 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 Into the body. Into the body. Into the body. Trace or microelements into the body. Okay, Daru. Then write down the next point. Write down the next point. Write down the next point. The elements need amount. The elements need in high 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 amount is known as macro elements. Is known as macro elements. Is known as macro elements. And elements need in small amount. And elements need in small amount. Elements need in small amount. Elements need in small amount. Elements need in small amount are known as. Elements need in small amount are known as. Elements need in small amount are known as trace elements. Trace elements. Trace elements. Trace elements. Trace elements. Okay, Daru, done? At the next point.
Done, sir.
Yeah,
Done,
write
sir.
down the next point. Next point. Write down. 7% of the body weight is by minerals. 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 Is by minerals. 7% of the body weight is by minerals. Okay.
Okay, sir.
3 to 4 of the above amount is by calcium and phosphorus. 3 to 4 of the amount is by calcium or phosphorus.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Next point. Other than that, 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 potassium ion, magnesium copper, potassium ion, magnesium copper, potassium ion, magnesium copper, potassium ion, magnesium copper. Other than that, potassium ion, magnesium copper, and iodine are also included. 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 And iodine are also included.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then we have to go through with this one, Daru. Here they have given you the each and every element and their functions and the deficiencies we have to face if we are not taking the correct amount of those elements. Deficiencies with the deficiencies. Okay, let's see, go with the potassium first. Putha, write the table. No need to write separate them, just within a given space write them. What is the first element? Potassium. Just read it. Just read it.
First element, potassium. Function is controls the ionic balance of the fluid in the cell
Okay.
for the activity of heart and muscles,
Okay.
transmission of nerve impulse.
Okay.
Deficiency in symptoms are weakening of muscles,
Okay.
Psychological disorders.
Psychological disorders also there. So these are the things that you want to remember, Dharu, okay? When we come to the potassium, they can, so when we come to the basic functions of potassium, Dharu, so this potassium is and calcium mainly we can find in our skeleton, okay, in our basic things, and the way are that we want to have a protection or strengthen our body, we need this potassium, okay. Okay, so if we don't take enough potassium, we are weakening with our muscles. Okay, so that's why they explain when we come to the functions, control the ionic balance of the fluid, because normally the ionic balance maintained by sodium and potassium. So this potassium is a one constituent. For the activity of heart and muscles, all these functions, the ATP transportation, all these are based on potassium. So it is important for that. Transmission of the nerve impulse also, for the transmission, this iron for the minerals are important. If we are not taking enough of it, deficiency symptoms, weakening the muscles, and physiological disorders can be happen. Quickly write down that the rule. Quickly write it. Only the potassium one. Then after completed it, let's see go for the second.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Then let's see go for the second one, sodium.
Second element is sodium.
Okay.
Activates enzymes.
Okay.
Constituent of digestive juice to maintain constant osmotic pressure in cells.
Okay.
Transmission of nerve impulses. Deficiency symptoms are respiratory disorders, cramps, nausea.
No, nausea and diarrhea. Basically, when we go through the, yeah, okay, Daru, yeah, no offense. When you come to the sodium, it is very important activate enzyme, because for our enzymes we need some sort of activation. For the activation process to do, we need this sodium. Then constituent in digestive juice, it is very important in digestive juice to maintain the constituent and the functions of it, to maintain the constant osmotic pressure. Okay, when you consider the pressure, for the osmotic pressure, it is sodium and potassium, those ions are important to maintain the specific or the required osmotic pressure. This is very important. Transmission of nerve impulse also, if we don't have the specific amount of sodium in our body, respiratory disorders, cramps, okay. So when you consider those things, we have special pains in our legs and hands. Normally we call it as cramps. So those also things can happen. Nausea and diarrhea also most common symptoms. Can you quickly write it also?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, quickly do it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, done. Let's go with the third one.
Third element is magnesium. Function is constituent of bones and teeth to control nerve activity in skeletal muscles, helping metabolic activities.
Okay.
Deficiency symptoms are high heartbeat, nerve irritability.
Yeah, irritability, nerve irritability. So magnesium also, just as the previous one too. In here, the highlighted ones are the most common ones that ask in the MCQs. So in here, they will ask only the MCQ most of the times. Okay, so focus on the specific properties of it and the functions or the specific points. So when you come to the magnesium, constituent in bones and teeth, so it is strength and was given by calcium and magnesium. Control the nerve activities in the skeletal muscles and help to metabolic activities. So for the function, for the transportation, for the equilibriums, we need this. Third one, the high heartbeat and the nerve irritability also. Their nerve irritability as well as high heartbeat can be observed with these deficiencies. Quickly write down that also, Daru. Quickly write down that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, let's go with the third one. Just wait, no, fourth one, no? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's read it.
Fourth element is calcium. Function is growth of bones and teeth, blood clotting, proper function of nerves, milk production, absorption of vitamin B. Deficiency symptoms, weakening of bones and teeth, growth disorders, osteoporosis.
Yeah, so when it comes to calcium, it is a very common one. Okay, you may also, yeah, most of the times this calcium, the importance of calcium in the TV advertisements also. Okay, on the ground of bones and teeth. Okay, and lean and then lean in they clearly focus those things. So for the blood clotting, this calcium is important. For the function, for the better of proper functions of the nerves and the transmission of the nerves also important. Transmission of the signals, milk production, calcium is a very important one. Absorb for vitamin B. For the it is normally vitamins there are two types to it. First one water soluble, then the fat soluble lipids. Normally water solubles are vitamin B and C. All the others are fat solubles. They are vitamin K, A, D, E. K, D, E, K, O, K, A, D, E. When it comes to the deficiencies, osteoporosis, you already know, when our skeletal or the muscles or the ones that we need, if they are weakened, they have to they have to undergo with this osteoporosis disease. Okay, this one who have to suffer a lot from that. Yeah, so the growth disorders also there, because for the growth we need calcium and the weaken of bones and teeth. Quickly write down that also, do. Good. Let's go with the phosphorus. Quickly read it.
Fifth element is phosphorus, growth of bones and teeth, as a constituent of nucleic acid for carbohydrate and fat metabolism, instant release of energy in muscles and nerves. Deficiency symptoms are weakening of bones and become fragile.
Fragile. Okay, fragile. Okay, so in here, so here onwards, I'm not going to give you the time to write. It's as a homework you have to write. Okay, I will explain it because up to this point we gave the time. Okay, so in here, what they have done, the phosphorus, as I already explained you, it is important in the strengthening the bonds, constituent in nucleic acid. You all know. When you consider the nucleic acid elements, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus. Phosphorus is one of it. For the carbohydrate and fat metabolisms, instant release of energy in the muscles and arteries. So if we need the instant energy or quick energy for our functions of muscles or the bonds, all these things, the energy was given by phosphorus. So if we are not taking enough phosphorus in our body, weakening of bonds, because for the strength of the bonds we need phosphorus. So if we don't have efficient phosphorus, the bonds will weak and become fragile, not that much strength. Okay, let's go for the next one, iron.
Sixth element is iron. Function is synthesis of hemoglobin, storage of oxygen in muscles as a constituent of enzymes.
Okay.
Anemia, sleepiness, hyperactive nature, weakness in psychological development.
Yeah, weakness in psychological development. So basically the iron is very important for us, for our maintaining of our body, maintaining the functions. Synthesis of hemoglobin. For the hemoglobin, it is iron part. From that is the basic part. From that, the structure form. Storage of oxygen in muscles, because this hemoglobin also important for the transportation. Not only that, but also for the storage, iron is important. As a constituent in enzymes, most of the enzymes we need at active source this iron. When we come to the other one, when we come to the other basic points, if we are not taking enough iron, it is anemia. We call it as anemia. There are different functions on the properties also there. Then the sleepiness. Sleepiness means we don't feel any sleep. That is a very important one, no? If we have these days, okay. Then the hyperactive nature, it is too much active. the weakens in the physiological development. So physiology, they are not taking enough amount of iron. The physiological development may stop. Okay, Daru. Next one, ID.
The seventh element is iodine. Synthesis of thyroxine hormone uh, affects development of intelligence. Uh, so that word is
Which one, the
sir
lethargic attitude. Lethargic attitude.
towards studies limits body height.
Limits body height. Okay, that is the one that we want to focus. So when we consider iodine, it is it is synthesized of thyroxine hormone. It is part of thyroxine hormone. Affect the development of intelligence. It means in the ages, okay, in the childhood ages, basically from year 1 to 3, we need specific or required amount of iodine. So if we are not taking, if we are not giving that amount of iodine for our children, definitely they won't improve their intelligence. Okay, for the improvement of our intelligence, our capabilities, our thinking patterns, thinking creativity, creative structures, for those, definitely the intelligence is important. So in that little age, we from year 1 to year 3, 4, we need the specific or required amount of iodine. If we are not taking it, definitely they have to. If we are not providing it to them, they have to suffer with these illnesses. Then the lethargic attitude towards studies means lethargic and කම්මැලි කියලා කියන නේද? study කරන්න කම්මැලි. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකට time එක focus කරන්න බෑ. Final one, limits body height. It reduced. So if we are not taking enough with in our childhood levels, the growth also disrupt. So we have to go through a given solution. Limit body height is there. That is the thing that we have to face, basically. If you find out new ways, but at the beginning, it is up to this. That is just like this. All clear? Anything to clarify again? Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, Dharu. Tell me.
So lethargic means?
It means you are not active, very lazy, always try to sleep. Okay, lethargic attitudes means alasai කියලා කියන කම්මැලි කියලා කියන සිංහලේ නේද? Lethargic.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so let's see, go for the next one, Dharu. Write down functions of minerals in plant and deficiencies in terms of them. Functions of minerals in plants. Functions of minerals in plants and functions of minerals in plants and
okay, sir.
And deficiencies in terms of them. So they have given you mainly 3. Other than that, they have some more. But first of all, let's write down these 3: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Quickly write their functions and deficiencies in terms also. For these 3, okay. Then after I will explain these 3 and move forward for the next one. So quickly, after writing the subtopic, quickly draw. Write the points of for each. You don't need to write tables, but clearly define or differentiate.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so let's read it, Dharu.
First element, nitrogen, function is as a constituent of amino acid, proteins, nucleic acid, and chlorophyll. Deficiency symptoms are
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
So that word is.
Yeah, again, tell from the beginning, Dharu. I can't hear you. No. Hello.
Sir,
Yeah. Again, repeat it from the beginning. Not clear.
retardation in growth.
Yeah. Retardation. Retardation means uh, growth does not takes in the proper manner. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Retardation. Good.
Chlorosis
Hmm.
in mature leaves.
Mature leaves. Okay. Good. Yeah. Then the second, read all three then at once.
Phosphorus as a constituent of nucleic acid and ATP. Uh, deficiency symptoms, retardant growth of roots, red and purple patches on leaves. Third element is potassium, protein synthesis, opening and closing of stomata. Deficiency symptoms are chlorosis in leaves, yellow or brown patches in leaves.
Okay. So when we come to this, Darvo, these are the theory points. Okay. So you don't have that much of things to learn from this. Basically, when you come closer to the exam, you have to read. You have to understand. You have to keep in mind. But when I explain those things, the most common, most important one, when we come to the other features, you have to go through with the minerals and the important for the human. But this part is not that much of important. Okay. I'm not telling that they won't ask questions, but not that much of importance. So we have to mainly focus on the important one. That's why I have highlighted the ones. Okay. So these ones you have to mainly focus ones that I have already highlighted. They are the most common ones that ask from the exam. But for the plant ones, they are not like that. So just keep in that mind. If you have anything to clarify, you can clarify. So the normally what will happen, the functions, they are not main focus. When you come to the deficiency index for the nitrogen, the retardation of the growth, this is for the plants. Okay, the growth does not place well. The chlorosis of the mature leaves, it means they will fall very quickly. When you come to the phosphorus, retarded the growth of root. So the growth of root, we need phosphorus. So if we are not taking it, the growth will won't happen that much clearly. Red and purple patches on the leaves. So basically, you have to remember the deficiencies. Potassium also, chlorosis of leaves, yellow and brown parts in the leaves. Okay. So now you have to continue the literacy. Quickly write from iron, calcium, zinc, and sulfur. Quickly write these four also: iron, calcium, zinc, and sulfur. Zinc and sulfur.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Then the next point. Yeah. Let's see. Read it one by one.
Fourth one is iron.
Okay.
Synthesis of chlorophyll, synthesis of respiratory enzymes, chlorosis in tender leaves. Fifth one is calcium, component of cell wall to maintain the structure and functions of plasma membrane for the activity of enzymes, dyeing of tissues at the tips of the leaves. Sixth one is zinc for the activity of most enzymes, synthesis of chlorophyll, dead cells and tissues throughout the plant, extra thickness in leaves. Seventh one is sulfur as a constituent of amino acids and proteins, chlorosis in veins and areas between veins.
Okay. So that's it. Okay. So ions. So normally chlorosis in tender leaves. Okay, chlorosis can take place. When you come to the calcium, dying of tissues at the tip of the leaves. Okay, tissues, the tip of it dying. Zinc, dead cells and the tissues throughout the plant, extra thickening in the leaves. Normally those things, and the sulfur as well. So these are the ones that they have showcased you here. When we have a nitrogen deficiency in symptoms, we can see chlorosis in the leaves. Chlorosis means the green color of the leaves will decrease and the yellow color arise from that. That is we call as chlorosis. Zinc deficiency symptoms, it means extra thickness in leaves. Okay, leaves get extra thick. Okay, it is zinc deficiency. For the phosphorus deficient symptoms, red and purple patches on leaves. Potassium deficiency, yellow or brown patches in leaves, yellow or brown. Final one, calcium deficiency, symptoms, dying of tissues at the tip of the leaves. You can really see, okay, dying of the, I think you in your day-to-day life with your parents or in your garden also, you can see those things. Then you can identify, oh, this is a potassium symptoms, or this is a nitrogen deficiency, okay, those things clearly. Yes, yeah, that also. ඔගුල මේ ගමන සාමාන්‍ය පෙළ විභාගයට මාස පෙනී සිටීමට උත්සාහ කරනවා නම් පෙනී සිටින් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා නම් ඔගොල්ලෝ තුර ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න ඇති නේද? පාඩම් කරන්නේ කොහොමද? කම්මැලි, අමතක වෙනවා, මයින්ඩ් එක කොහොමද ફોකස් එකේ තියාගන්නේ? හරි ස්ට්‍රෙස් එක මැනේජ් කරන්නේ කොහොමද? මම මේ පාඩම් කරන දේ කොහොමද දීර්ඝව කාලයක් මතක තියාගන්නේ? විභාග ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍ර වලට උත්තර දෙන්නේ කොහොමද? වගේ ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩාක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ තුල ඇති. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා මගේ YouTube නාලිකාව හරහා වීඩියෝ මාලාවක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ගෙනත් දෙනවා මේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කොහොමද මුහුණ දෙන්න ඕනේ. දරුවන් හැටියට මේ ප්‍රශ්න වලින් ඕවර්කම් කරන්න, ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට පිළිතුරු සපයාගන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා වීඩියෝ මාලාවක් අපේ YouTube නාලිකාවෙන් අපි ගෙනත් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් රැඳෙන්න එකතු වෙන්න අපේ YouTube නාලිකාවත් සමග ඔබගේ යාළුවන්ටත් මේක ෂෙයා කරන්න. ඒගොල්ලන්ට ගොඩාක් වැදගත් වෙයි. වැදගත් විදිහට පිළිවෙලින් අපගේ වීඩියෝ අපි නිපදවලා තියෙනවා. ඒවා නිවැරදිව ක්‍රමවත්ව ගොඩනගලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලලා ඔයගේ යාළුවන්ට ෂෙයා කරලා මේ අත්දැකීම, මේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක අනිත් අයට ලබා දෙන්න. ස්තුතියි අපි එක එකතු වුණාට ඉදිරියට අපිත් සමග රැඳී සිටී කියලා ආරාධනා කරනවා. ස්තුතියි. අපි